So you've got 200 grand burning a hole in your pocket, and you want to extinguish those flames by purchasing a large, premium, high-performance sedan. Thoughts turn to Germany, specifically BMW's bruising M5, or Mercedes-AMG's storming E63. Both can tear the tarmac off the road courtesy of outputs approaching the 600 horsepower zone, and dynamic systems tuned by unhinged boffins in Munich and a Falterback. But what if you want to go down a less predictable path, one that takes you south to the north of Italy and Modena, the home of Maserati? This is the 2018 Maserati Ghibli, specifically the uprated S version, with more power and torque than the outgoing model. It's the famous Italian brand's take on a serious sports sedan. But the elephant-sized question in the room is, why take the road less travelled? What does this Maserati have that BMW and Merc's finest doesn't?
The Ghibli is available in 3 spec levels. There's the standard car, then for an extra 20k, the S Gran Lusso, with a focus on luxury, including the option of a Zegna silk interior treatment. Or the more focused S Gran Sport you see here, resplendent in blue Emozione. The petrol engine is a 3-litre 60-degree twin-turbo V6, designed by Maserati and manufactured by Ferrari just up the road in Maranello, and drive goes to the rear wheels via an 8-speed automatic transmission.
The Gran Sport's identified by unique bumpers front and rear, and this concave grille treatment at the front, as well as 2 wings and a prominent splitter underneath. And in fact, the whole design is very slick with a low drag coefficient. While it can't beat the Germans on outright numbers, this V6 still produces more than 320 kilowatts, which translates to 430 odd horsepower. That's enough to propel it from 0 to 100 km/h in less than 5 seconds. And if you game, onto a maximum velocity approaching 290 kilometres an hour. But they're just numbers. Does the Ghibli's Italianness add that certain something that makes it more compelling than the usual suspects? So, we're inside. Italianness. What does it feel like? Well, it certainly doesn't feel Teutonic. Even if you covered over this Trident badge and other giveaways inside, it doesn't feel like the usual suspects. It's full leather up and over the dash. It's a distinctive, characterful design. You'll see this elongated analog clock, which is a Maserati trademark. But that's not to say it gives away practicality. There's a 7-inch TFT screen in here where you can work through the various onboard computer functions. It works beautifully. There's an 8.4-inch multimedia touchscreen over here to control everything from media to climate control to nav. And talking of media, it runs Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so we're bang up to date on that score. Then when you want to connect, there's an auxiliary in socket, USB, SD, and where there used to be a DVD player, there's now a pretty handy phone holder. There are also little pockets, a decent sized glove box, a cubby hole here with a 12 volt at the bottom of it. So here we are in the back. I'm sitting behind the driver's seat set for my 183 centimetre position. And there's actually plenty of leg room and more than enough headroom. It's a little bit tight for my feet under that seat, but it's no deal breaker. There are 2 vents, adjustable for either side, some mat pocket nets and little bins in the doors. Emphasis on the little. They're not enormous, but they're there. The other thing is this armrest pulls down and reveals a rather nice little cubby hole in here. Press the button and you've got a pair of cup holders. But again, they're not exactly generous. A standard sized drink bottle is going to struggle to find a home in there, really. There are ISOFIX location points for child seats on either side, and this seat back splits 60/40 to enhance load flexibility. So really, from a practicality point of view, it's pretty good. So the first thing to say about the Maserati Ghibli S Grand Sport is that it's fast, but it's not in the same eye-widening category as the BMW M5 and the Merc AMG E63. The sound from the V6 twin turbo is as guttural and as growly as you'd want a Maserati to be, and shifts from this 8-speed automatic transmission, particularly in manual mode using these nice proper metal levers, is quick and positive. There's a fat band of torque. It's close to 600 Newton meters between about 2,000 and 4,000 RPM, and the twin turbo setup helps deliver that in a nicely linear fashion.
The sports seats, 12-way electric adjustable, feel great. A 50-50 front to rear weight distribution helps the car feel balanced, and the standard limited slip differential helps put power to the ground without fuss in tight going. And it does in fact feel lighter and more involving than its high-profile German rivals. Braking is courtesy of big 6-piston calipers at the front and 4-piston at the rear on vented and cross-drilled rotors. They are up to the task.
The electrically assisted power steering is nice and light at parking speeds, but as you get going, the car points really nicely, and as the speedo needle starts to wind round even further to the right, road feel comes on board appreciably. And despite the fact that this car runs on big 21-inch rims, standard on the Grand Sport S, ride comfort is surprisingly good. We've been on the Great Ocean Road today on the southern coast of Victoria, and it is a great drive. But the surface isn't always as good as it could be. And despite that, this car has been comfortable and surprisingly refined.
There's lots of new safety kit, including lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, traffic sign recognition, AEB, forward collision warning. The list goes on and on. The car rates a maximum 5 stars from Euro NCAP. Claimed combined cycle fuel consumption is a touch under 10 litres per 100 kilometres, and you're looking at 98 RON premium to fill the 80-litre tank.
Maserati will tell you people are drawn to it because of its motor racing heritage and sporting DNA, that it offers something different in a grey, business-like world of conformity. And there's no doubt the M5 and E63 are left-lane autobahn hot rods, but the drive experience there is relatively remote. The Maserati Ghibli S delivers a more nuanced drive experience, and it's a fact that a lot of the design details you find right through the car do connect with the brand's history. So before you think about going German, you might want to consider a more high-emotion Italian relationship. Ciao, ciao. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to carsguide.com.au for all the latest news and reviews.